Hello everyone. Thought I'd just hop on. I won't be long live, but just with the latest updates from the disappearance of Gaynor Lord from Norwich here in the UK. It's quite a few miles away from me. It's about like 6 hours drive away from me, so not close. Anyway, all right. So there's been a police update. One cop has spoken to the media. It's not like an organised press conference. It's just a cop talking to the media for like 4 minutes. So we're going to play that. That came out about an hour ago. We're going to look at the latest CCTV. Just another snippet of CCTV has been released. And the route she took. So I've plotted it out on a map. So we'll do that first. Let's just give people a minute to get in here. Say a few hellos. Laura, only grands. What have we got? Eyesight's 2020. Holly, Neela. So I think she met someone and walked away. Yeah, but why wouldn't she be on CCTV walking away? I'm just really confused. Jojo, Blur. I think someone attacked her. I think that's the least likely scenario, in my opinion. Because it's a built-up area. And there'd probably be evidence of an attack. And then where would they have taken her? What's she looking at? Probably a street sign. Because in cities in the UK, street signs are high up on buildings. So when I'm in a city, not that I ever wish to be in a city, but if I'm forced to go to a city, you're going to see me looking up, like clueless, like looking at street signs. That's just a guess, based on my behaviour in cities. What else have we got in the house? Emma. What is it to see there? Street sign would be my guess. Hello, Mason. Who else have we got? Cockney Kez, Debbie. Langnerman. Yeah, St. Augustine Street. Yeah, so near the park. Karen. Open Google Maps up. Oh, I will. Oh, I will. Just briefly. I think the route's quite well publicised now. Hello, Mark. We are in the dark until she's found. Shaman. Hello. She used to walk a dog in the same park. Yeah, but it's probably the only green area in the city. Because it's quite a built-up area by the looks of things. I've never been to Norwich. But if you have a dog and you want your dog to do dog things like walking on grass, then probably the park's the easiest place to take them. So I imagine a lot of people walk their dogs in a park or in that park. Hello, Mike. Check out Milliard filtering grid. Well, that's good. How far downstream is that? I'm sure they are checking that. Petunia. Pepperami. Hello. Jessa. Hello. Plant Lady. Shazza. What else we got? Jackie. D. All right. Not going to keep speaking. Names and names. I am aware that it's about a mile away from you. Oh, wow. Yeah, you just clicked on I'm live. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So I did post a video this morning about the differences. Like there's people, lots of people in the media, social media, TikTok, just people talking about, oh, this is so similar to Nicola Bulley. No, it's not. No, it's not. Not motivationally, it isn't. You can look at cursory similarities, like they're both middle-aged women, they've both got blonde hair, they both disappeared on a Friday, they both disappeared during work. You can do that on a like really surface level, or you can actually look at the psychology and look at the motivations of the disappearances. Nicola was just a routine walk with a dog. Gaynor has done something very uncharacteristic and very deliberate. And motivationally, that's very different to me. Nicola's, in my opinion, was cut and dried, very self-explanatory, in my opinion. But Gaynor's, no. Gaynor's isn't. Gaynor's is more complicated. There's a complexity behind this that I think we need to understand her motivations and look a bit deeper. Look a lot deeper, honestly. Okay, so do the route first. I've plotted this in Google Maps, although I should have done it in Google Earth and I could have saved the pins, but I'll do it again. So she starts off at Gerald's. She goes out of the loading bay rather than through the front door, an hour and a quarter before she should have finished her shift. So at 2:45, she's leaving. She goes by Cozy Club. So Cozy Club's on here somewhere. Cozy Club. There's Cozy Club. She walks up to the cathedral. And she's there for 33 to 34 minutes. And the police lose her on CCTV. Now, this is a very built-up area. If I just switch this to satellite view, you can see just how built up it is. Very, very few green areas. That's why probably if you're living in the city, the easiest place to take your dog for a walk is there, Wensum Park. Or if you live this side of the city, over on that green bit there. I'd hate to live in an area like this. I'm sorry, guys. If you live in Norwich, I'm sure it's lovely, but it's just not the kind of place I'd want to live. Okay, so she's lost from CCTV. She went to pray at the cathedral. Now, someone in my comments said that they didn't think the cathedral was open in the day. It is. All cathedrals are open in the day. They want your hard-earned dollar. They have a gift shop. They have a gift shop. All cathedrals have a gift shop. You know, you buy overly priced pens and things. But yeah, okay, visiting hours. Oh, I hate websites like this that have all these like pull down menus that just get in your way. Right, show me the visiting hours. Take a virtual tour. I tried to do the virtual tour and it was just menus everywhere. I couldn't be dealing with it. So it opens at 7:30 and closes at 6:30 every single day, 7 days a week. So it was definitely open. However, I don't think you could have gone around that cathedral without being caught on CCTV indoors at least once. So they've got like a cafe. They've got certain events that are on. I don't think they had anything special on last Friday. Like they have a communion service, I think. What day is the communion? What time's the communion? Daily worship. Every day morning prayer, Holy Communion and evensong or evening prayer held at the cathedral. So 8 a.m. daily, 10:30 on Sundays for Holy Communion, 3:30 is evensong. So it's not like she went to a service. The Christmas events on. Christmas at the cathedral. Advent and Christmas online. 6 Tree of Remembrance. 15th. So you could go to Tree of Remembrance and place a star on the tree. So that's something you could do. They have a cafe, they have a gift shop. Now, I'm sure that the cafe and the gift shop would both have CCTV. So the point is, if she went in the cathedral, presumably she'd have been on CCTV at some point, but she wasn't. So the police are still appealing for people who were at the cathedral on Friday afternoon. So last Friday, the 8th of December, if you were at Norwich Cathedral, so between, let's say, 2:45 and 3:30, let's say, did you see someone who looked like Gaynor? Okay, so she left the cathedral, walks along here. So she's gone like 2 miles. If she'd have gone directly from Gerald's to the park, it's like 1.5 miles, but she went well out of her way to go to the cathedral. And then she went back, like she walked back to the route that she would have been taken if she'd have gone straight from Gerald's. So she went to that cathedral for a reason. Absolutely for a reason. So if she hadn't bothered going to the cathedral, she'd have just gone through up there, and she'd have been on the path that she went at. But she went back to the route and went straight up to the park. If she wanted to just go and jump in the river, she could have done it there. There's a bridge. So if she was suicidal and just wanted to jump in a river, she could have done it there, but she didn't. She walked all the way up here, across the road there, St. Crispin's, and then Pitt Street, St. Augustine's Street, a road, whatever, and then into the park. So that's 2 miles. So Google tells me it's 45 minutes to walk, but obviously she spent 34 minutes in the cathedral grounds somewhere. All right. So the new CCTV shows her wearing the same clothes. So all the CCTV that we've got so far shows her wearing the same clothes. So if she changed clothes to do like a Gone Girl, she did it in the park. But where were the clothes that she changed into? Because she did have a bag with her, but it was only a very small bag. Unless she was wearing clothes under the clothes, I guess. Guess that's possible. All right. Let's show this CCTV first of all. Okay, we'll watch the CCTV that was released yesterday first. Okay, this. So y'all will have seen this, and I played this in my video this morning. So do go and watch the video this morning. I'm guessing not many people will watch it because it says Nicola Bulley, and people know my opinion about the Nicola Bulley case, and because I'm not running a conspiracy theory, they just don't watch. But I think it's really important to understand how motivationally different this is, rather than just looking at cursory, ooh, they're both middle-aged women. Both Friday, ooh. So this is after she comes out of the cathedral. Now, I don't think she's being chased by anyone. If she was scared, if she was running away from someone, there's plenty of people who she could have gone to. There's even a cop car passes her. Let's play it on half speed. There's even a cop car that passes her. So she's running, but she's not looking behind her. There's a man there with a husky. She could have gone to him for help. There's a bunch of people here that she's approaching. She could have gone to them for help. There's a bunch of people to the left of the screen. She could have gone to them for help. Here she crosses the road. She's in a rush. There's a police car right there. She could have flagged that cop car down if she was scared, if someone was chasing her. She could have flagged that cop car right down because she came almost face to face with it. But no. She's not looked behind her at all. She's going somewhere. And then this is her leaving the cathedral. So she's still walking, like with purpose, walking fairly quickly, long stride, walking with purpose, not walking aimlessly. And she puts a coat on at that point. Okay, now the CCTV that's been released today is this. It's only like a few seconds. So CCTV captured the last sighting of Gaynor walking along St. Augustine Street at 4:01. So they've kind of made that look up like longer than it was. It was probably a glance. They've paused it. She's looking up. I think she was looking for looking at a street sign, looking at I don't know, something on the wall there. And then she just walks off with... If this is real time, then she's walking a normal pace. Checking a clock. Yeah, maybe. She had a phone on her, though. People... It looks like it's on the corner because that goes in. And they normally have street signs on corners. Who's the bloke behind? I don't know, somebody walking down St. Augustine Street. Just because someone's walking behind her doesn't mean to say that she's been murdered. I'm not being funny, but it's a busy place, Norwich. It's a city. That dude's probably just, I don't know, walking home from work or something. Could be walking in, could be going anywhere. Like, where's all these cars going? Any one of them could have nabbed her and attacked her, and But she's wearing that coat. She's got the same jeans on, the same shoes on. You can't see whether she's changed her shirt, but she's not got a large bag with her or anything. She could have clothes under her clothes, though. She has gloves on in the latest CCTV. Well, it's winter. It's winter. I'd be worried about wearing gloves in the middle of summer, but it's winter. Yeah, I don't know whether she's got gloves on or whether she's carrying something, but she's hardly in a rush, is she? She's not now, no. No, she's walking normal pace now. So to get away from work to the point where she... Let's play look at the difference in her. I'll play it normal speed. Look at the difference in her. So she's coming out of work. She's running. Not away from something. It's like she's late. And then she's so hell-bent on getting over this road that she goes in front of two cars have to stop for her. So she's walking really quickly there. Now, this is after she's been to the cathedral. She's still walking reasonably quickly, but she's not rushing. She's not running. She's walking at a normal, purposeful pace. She's slowed down considerably. So for me, to get to the cathedral for a certain time was very imperative to her. In a hurry, like she's late. Yes. And then after the cathedral, she's in less of a rush. And then in this shot here, she's just walking a normal pace. Maybe she needed a pee. Yeah, but would you take like a detour that took you half a mile out of your way just to go for a pee? And wouldn't you have a pee before you left work? Why would you leave work needing a pee? You saw a glove. Well, it's winter. All right, so that's the CCTV. For me, it's not gloves weather yet. It has to be at least -5 for it to be gloves weather. That's the rule. My feet are always boiling and my hands are always boiling. So I don't know. All right, let's play what this cop says. So it was an impromptu. It's not a press conference. Did they find her gloves in the park? I would imagine her gloves were probably in her coat pocket. I don't know the answer to that. But all we know is what the police have told us. Like the Sun newspaper have said that they've also found her jeans and her shoes, but the police haven't confirmed that. I am a northerner, Robert. I am. And yeah, it's not gloves weather till it's -5. That's the thing for me, Wist. That's exactly the issue for me. Why did she get undressed? At least, you know, half of her clothes were gone, like the top half. Now, if she still had her jeans on, why did she jump in the river, taking her shirt and her tank top off, and jump in the river with jeans and shoes on? So where are her jeans and her shoes? The Sun newspaper said that they've been found, but the police have not confirmed that. To do yoga? So do you think she might have had like a workout top on underneath the shirt, which is possible? There are toilets in the park. So did she go to the toilets to change? Did they find a coat? Yes, it was in the river. Which is even more bizarre, because the woman who saw who she believes to be Gaynor in the park doing yoga, topless yoga. Okay, she get arrested. Yeah, the woman who claims to have seen a woman who looked like her in the park said she was putting her coat on the ground and she was like doing some kind of yoga pose, but doesn't say that she was naked from the waist up. Doesn't say that. Or was just in a bra. She doesn't say that. So we don't know what she was wearing after she took her coat off. So her tank top, her shirt, 2 rings, her bag, her phone were found scattered about in the park. So not in a nice, neat pile, but in various places in the park. And her coat, the police found the coat in the river. But if she was a wild swimmer, put it this, what about this? If she was a wild swimmer and this is what she did, maybe she was stretching before she went for a swim. Don't people do that? You know, so what might have looked like a yoga pose was stretching. She's stretching before going in the river for a swim. But I don't know why she wouldn't have. Surely she'd have taken her jeans and her shoes off as well. But I don't know if she was a swimmer. It's only a it's what some people do go wild swimming in rivers, do go cold water swimming in rivers. I'm not saying that's what she did. I do find it unlikely that she'd leave work an hour and a quarter early just to go for a swim. And what was she doing at the cathedral? If she was going for a swim, why would she go to the cathedral? You read on the news she's into fitness. Well, a lot of people are into fitness. Pee between two parked cars. I'd have peed before I left work. Call me weird, I don't know. You don't discard your jewellery to go for a swim in December. You might do if your rings were a little bit too big. Let's say, I don't know, you'd recently lost weight, or you know that your rings have fallen off before and you're scared of losing them. You might put your rings in your bag. I don't know. She wasn't wearing jeans. What was she wearing then? They look like jeans to me. They look like blue jeans to me. I think that's a possibility, Owen Flo, that she was manic. I don't know that she went for a confession because it's an Anglican cathedral. So they don't do confessions. It's not Roman Catholicism. Have they said whether she'd arranged to leave work early or did she just walk out? We don't know. Not been said at the moment. Picked up a different phone. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, let's listen to this. It's only like 4.5 minutes. So it was impromptu. It's not a press conference. They started recording halfway through a sentence, I think. I've checked out like a few channels that have got this, and they all kind of start like in the middle of the sentence. So here we go. 4.5 minutes. Audio's not brilliant, but it is what it is.
Our working hypothesis remains that Gaynor is in the river, even though we're exploring other lines, as you'd expect us to keep a very open mind. That's why you've seen quite considerable intensive searches of the river today. Specialist team from Lincolnshire is also assisting us. So we're putting sonar equipment across the river at the moment, which is quite detailed and allowing us to try and target divers to where we think there may be objects. But equally, it's very, very challenging. The river is very, very full of water due to all the rain, full of lots of debris. The divers can see about 1 foot in front of them. So it's an extraordinarily challenging environment for them to work in. So it's slow, methodical at the moment, working with the equipment, and it will take probably a couple of days to get to a position where we're kind of content with what we've done. It may even be longer.
What makes you so convinced that she's in the water?
So at the moment, we're looking at, obviously, like I said, an open mind. So there's a number of lines of inquiry that we are pursuing. But at the moment, everything that we know is pointing to a high probability that Gaynor went into the water. And that would be from the CCTV, from the very limited witnesses that we've got available to us at the moment, and other lines of inquiry that we're pursuing about Gaynor's behaviour in the lead up to her disappearance. So at the moment, the river is a really key factor for us. Now, it's not to say that other specialist police teams aren't working on other lines of inquiry, because they are. But at the moment, you're seeing that intensive effort around the searching of the water and the parks around and some of the other land around this area.
I was going to say, we saw some of your search teams today across the road. They'd actually left the park, across the road, and gone to some sort of scrubland, wasteland near some houses. Why have you decided to go over there?
So the specialist search police teams are here. They're Norfolk Constabulary's own teams, and we're just being really, really thorough. So each day we look at what we've undertaken, and then there's certain areas that we would research again, depending on what we might have found, and just want to be absolutely sure that we're missing nothing. in terms of evidence, not just for Gaynor herself, but any evidence that may have been dropped, lost, whatever. We just need to be sure that we've covered all the ground.
You released some CCTV footage yesterday from Gaynor leaving work. You can see her on CCTV leaving work, and she looks like she's smiling.
Yes.
Then you see her going through various roads in Norwich city centre. She looks like she's in a bit of a hurry. What is that CCTV telling you? There's also a half-hour period where you think she went into the cathedral grounds. So what is the CCTV telling you?
At the moment, the CCTV is telling us that she left work and she made her way over a period of time to the river where she was seen. Nobody's seen her go into the river, nobody's seen her into the water, but we know that she ended up in the park. At the moment, there's nothing else that the CCTV is showing us about who she may have spoken to, any interactions she might have had. It's literally the journey that you've seen so far that we've put out.
That's release of CCTV. Has it yielded any lines that you're following?
No, not at the moment, no.
But she left work early. Do you know the reason for that?
No, we don't, no. I mean, this is some of this behaviour is out of character. We can't explain some of her behaviour that day. And we're working really closely with the family, with friends, with anybody else that we know that may have had contact with her in recent days and weeks to try and understand why this may have happened.
And what have her family and friends said about her?
I think we're supporting the friends and family as close as we can. I think people are very shocked by what's happened. Nobody knows why she's done what she's done. And we will just have to work and see if we can find it out.
Some parallels are being drawn to the tragic case of Nicola Bulley up in Lancashire. Are there any lessons that have been learned from that case that you're now applying to this investigation here in Norfolk?
I think so. So in the case of Lancashire, of course, we'll always learn from jobs that have happened before. In terms of Lancashire, we've reached out to them, to one of the investigators that worked on that case, found out anything that we can learn, and we will apply it. But at the moment, I'm not concerned. I think we're doing everything we can to progress this inquiry.
And are you in contact with the force up there who led the investigation into Nicola?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Are they helping you?
Yes, they are helping us. And actually, when that case was concluded, the College of Policing, along with the National Crime Agencies, have to do an awful lot of work to then look at what can be learned, what can be applied. It may be in terms of search tactics, maybe in terms of even how the police interact and deal with asking the public for help. And all of that we then reapply in our own inquiries.
And finally, for me, this is still a missing persons inquiry.
It remains a missing person inquiry. Yes.
What is your message to anybody, somebody who might have any information about where Gaynor is?
Well, we've had 30 members of the public come forward so far as a result of all the work and press that we put out. I would just encourage anybody who's seen anything, however insignificant it may be, to call into the police and tell us what you know, because every piece of information will help.
Okay, so I'll put this link. I've played this from the Mirror, but I'll put this link in the chat. I'll also put it in the description box of the video after, because I forgot to do it before I went live. There are a few things I want to pick up on from the chat, but also I want to read the latest police update from Norfolk Constabulary. But there's a few things I just want to pick up on from the chat first. Yeah, polar bear plunges aren't uncommon. Yeah, people do go and jump in cold water and find it exhilarating. But cold water shock can happen within seconds. Maybe if she did jump in the river for some kind of, if she's a fitness fanatic, she jumps in the river for a polar bear plunge, and it's colder than she realised, and she got into trouble, and she sadly died. That's one possibility. So Wiss says, you were right about Nicola. She was in the water. What do you think about Gaynor? As I said in my video this morning, this case to me is more perplexing than Nicola's, because with Nicola's case, Willow, the dog, was right there. Willow was right there. That was the signpost. But in this case, it's the clothing for me. The clothing, the jewellery, everything just left. And is it possible she literally went for a swim and it all went wrong? Or is there something deeper than that? I genuinely don't know. At this stage, I genuinely don't know. This is way more complex than Nicola's case. But I went into it all in my video this morning. See, it's weird that there's no more CCTV unless you got into a car. That's the issue for me. That's another issue for me, that they've seen her on St. Augustine Street. Because, look, this is a very built-up area. We are the most surveilled country in Europe. There's CCTV everywhere, especially in cities. So it's caught her on St. Augustine Street near the park, right? So if she changed her clothes and came out of the park, well, where did she go? How did she get away? So there's a park entrance there. I think that's the main entrance where the playground is. That seems to be kind of the area where all the police are. So she could have walked up there. There's a path there. Walked up there and come out maybe further up. Can you get out on that street there? So see, if she had someone waiting, maybe around here, and walk through the park. Oh yeah, there's an exit there. There's another exit there. It's only a small park. So there would have had to have been a car waiting for her. And then sped off. It's possible. It's possible. I can't discount it. I can't discount that. I just can't discount that. But at the same time, hello. At the same time, I would imagine that the cops are also looking at the activity along this road. Now, at like 4 p.m, or maybe just after, it's going to be quite busy because it's the beginning of rush hour and it's Friday. So people do tend to finish work a little bit earlier on Fridays if they can. So rush hour in the UK tends to start a little bit earlier on a Friday than it does any other day. So it would have been really busy. So I would imagine it's going to be a long job to try to trace every single car. But it's a weird one, this. It's a weird one. Yeah, clothing. Well, we'll read the police update from today. But the items that have been found so far, according to the police previous update, is the white shirt, the yellow tank top, 2 rings, her phone, her bag. I think that's it. Yeah, the items were scattered. Now, I don't know how far they were scattered. I don't know whether they were scattered feet apart or I don't know. And the coat was in the river. Experienced plungers test the water and slowly emerge, not dive in. Well, maybe she wasn't that experienced about it. I don't know whether St. Augustine Street has got more. Google Chrome wants access to... Go away. Why do you want access to my Finder? That's just weird. I don't know. I don't know Norwich. I've never been there. So I don't know exactly where all the CCTV is. I just know that there's a lot of CCTV in cities. So they've managed to trace her entire route. I think that's the point. You're not sure about the person who said, saw her doing a yoga on her coat. Well, people do though. Like I said, she might have just been stretching, exercising. You wouldn't go into water with your clothes on. Yeah, but she's taking her clothes off. I don't know about her jeans and her shoes. She's taking her clothes off. So I don't know about the jeans and the shoes. They've not been mentioned by the police. The Sun newspaper said that they'd also found them, but I've not seen that confirmed by the police. So they can track her route going into the park but not coming out. Yes. And I think that may be the reason why they believe she's in the river. And that's a very good rationale for her being in the river, is that they've not seen her coming out of the park. Now, has she been able to sneak out of the park somehow? It's possible, round by that other entrance. It's possible. I mean, she could have even, if you want to be really, hold on. You know, if you want to take this to its logical conclusion, she could even have swum the river and got out this way. I find it unlikely, but that would be an explanation as to why they've not seen her coming out the park. You know, they'd be expecting her to come out the park on this road, wouldn't they? Now, they did say in that little little press update that they've been searching scrubland. So I'm wondering whether this is the scrubland or whether this is the scrubland, like this side. Because maybe they are exploring the possibility that she swum the river and gone out this way. It's possible. What's over the other side here? Let's have a look. Oh, won't let me go down to that area. But there is a road there. It just won't let me. Something way. Can't read that, but something way. There is a road there. It's just not. The Google car hasn't gone down there. Marriott's Way. So there's building supplies. So this is like some kind of like. Wait, let me go down there. Wait, let me go down there. But there's going to be CCTV all over this place and all. So that's joinery company. Building supplies. They'll definitely have CCTV. So if she'd gone over the river and gone out this way, then it's going to be harder for the police to trace her. Well, that would be a very, very, very well thought out plan. I mean, this is just like an industrial park. Every one of these buildings will have CCTV. I can bet you any money. But the one that goes down there, so that's the river. Marriott's Way. Let's have a look down here. Oh, it's just a path. It's not even a. So it's a path. It's not a road. So you wouldn't be able to get a car down there. So if she swam the river and got out this way, there'd have to be a car waiting for her along here somewhere. She could come out that path there and be a car waiting here. Anything's possible. It's bizarre, but what's more likely? You know, Occam's razor. Do we know anything about her life? Did she live at home? She was married with 2 grown-up children. 3 grown-up children. Where would she be going undressed without her coat, glasses, phone, etc.? Well, the argument is if she's staged a disappearance, that she would have like a getaway car, you know, somebody waiting for her, and she'd have a change of clothes. But my issue is she's not got clothes with her because she only has a very small bag. So what are the chances of a really elaborate getaway? Yes, it's possible. Yes, it does happen, but it's way less likely, just by statistics alone, it's way less likely than something a lot more, dare I say, mundane, that she's had a manic episode and she's, for whatever reason, decided to get in the river. That's a good point, Emily. With all the oddities, it seems more like Debbie Collier than Nicola Bulley. It does. It doesn't. Everything in my brain screams this is not the next Nicola Bulley. It's only on a very cursory. Oh, for God's sake! What's Tilly freaked out about? Tilly's just had a massive freak out. Did you hear her? I've forgotten what I was saying now. Maybe yoga clothes under work clothes, maybe. But everything screams to me routine day for Nicola Bulley. Freak, very tragic accident. This is way more complex, which means, in my opinion, we've got to consider every possibility. But I can understand why the police think she's in the river. Because if they don't see her coming out of the park, well, where's she gone? There has to be an elaborate way out if she's not seen on CCTV coming out of that park. If they've been able to track her route all the way from work to the cathedral, there was that lapse of 34 minutes where they don't know what she was doing around the cathedral, and then tracked her all the way up to St. Augustine Street and near the park, find her belongings in the park, and then she's just gone. I can understand why they would imagine that she's in the river. Did they find her purse? They found her bag and there was ID in her bag. So I don't know whether that included a purse, a wallet, I don't know. Oh yeah, Debbie Collier was really bizarre. The police, at first, the police press conference, they were insistent that it was a homicide, weren't they, early on? And then they ruled that the manner of death was suicide. So I think the odds are she's in the river, but it's not a cut and dry case. It's not one that I'm going to hang my hat on this, for all the reasons I talked about this morning. Anyway, last thing I'm going to read is this police update. So this is Norfolk Police from this afternoon. So it covers some of the things that the cops said in that press update, but I'm going to read it nonetheless. So this is from 12 minutes past 2 this afternoon. Underwater searches have been continuing today in Wensum Park in Norwich as the search for missing Gaynor Lord enters its 7th day. It's actually 6th day because she only went missing like the late afternoon of Friday. So we're 6 full days now. Officers have also released CCTV of 55-year-old Gaynor walking along St. Augustine Street, last sighting of her on CCTV before she goes missing. Yesterday, officers released footage showing her movements in the city centre after she left work at Gerald's department store at 2:45, more than an hour before her shift was due to finish. So she was due to finish her shift at 4. And she ran away through the loading bay, and they can't explain why she left work. And I'm guessing that every single employee who was on shift that day at Gerald's has been interviewed. And if they don't know why she left work, she clearly, you know, they weren't expecting her to leave work. That's weird. That's weird in itself. So in response to appeals for information about her movements, the force has received 30 calls from members of the public offering information, which officers are working through. I'd imagine, I would have thought there'd be more calls than 30, but hopefully some of those calls are people who saw her at the cathedral and can attest to what her behaviour was like. So the footage shows her walking along London Street, Queen Street and towards the cathedral before heading back out, walking to St George's Street, St Crispin's Road, towards Pitt Street and finally up St Augustine Street. The mother of three went missing on Friday after her possessions were found in Wensum Park just after 8 p.m. So it was a member of the public who found some of her items. And then the police found the coat in the river. And I think there was more items found on Sunday. So I don't know what was found when. I only know that the coat was found in the river and the other items were in the park, like scattered. She was identified by ID found in her handbag at the scene. That's misleading. It should say her identity was identified or her belongings were identified by ID, because she's not been identified because she's missing. The park has been closed off since Saturday, and since then, extensive inquiries have been carried out by specialist licensed search officers who are experts, unlike Peter Faulding, who isn't an expert, okay, according to the National Crime Agency. This work is overseen by a police search advisor, a specialist role who plans and controls search teams. Water-based searches have been carried out since Friday involving the Constabulary's Marine Unit, Norfolk Fire and Rescue Service, Coast Guard and NORSLAW. I don't know what that stands for. These searches have been both surface and underwater. We're also liaising with the National Crime Agency around specialist underwater capability. Reminds you of the Peter Baglin case. Yeah, but Peter Baglin was found in the canal. They just missed him. The dive teams had missed him the first time round. Found in the canal. Very close to where his belongings were found. The coat was blown into the river. Could have been. You're right though. It could have been. Could have been. Because it has been really windy. Well, it's been really windy here. I don't know what it's been like in Norwich, but it's been really windy here. Like Norwich is on the east of England. I'm in the west. And we've had some really, really high winds, but it's coming from the Atlantic, like the bad weather that's happened in the kind of northeast-ish of the US down as far as Tennessee. The bad weather there, we've got the tail end of it coming over the Atlantic. So it's been really windy. Like the end of last week was really windy here, but Norwich is over the east, so I don't know how windy it was there. Anyway, Chief Superintendent Dave Buckley, County Policing Commander. So I think that was Dave Buckley that we heard from. Explained the challenging environment search teams are working in. He said, "We have been speaking to the dive team on site and visibility in the River Wensum is between 0 and 1 foot underwater with temperatures as low as 4 degrees C. As soon as you reach 1 foot in front of you, visibility goes, and then there's obviously leaves, branches, debris, and the flow of the river to contend with, which is the biggest problem because there's been so much rainfall." So people who think, why do they not find people in rivers? It's because it's incredibly difficult work. If you think about when a diver goes in the water, like how much debris is kicked up by the movement of that person. So they're literally feeling for a dead body with zero visibility. Can you imagine how easy it would be to miss something? They're swimming against the flow of the river, which is very difficult, and searching with next to zero visibility in a very systematic manner. It's very time consuming because it's a large area to search, and we must make sure that we've covered every feasible inch of water. Now, not only have they got to go down to the bottom, they've got to also feel like between the surface and the bottom, there's a there's a bunch of space, and you don't know that there's nothing in that space. Do you know what I mean? And a river's moving. A river's moving. It's a moving body of water. So it's not like land searches where once you've cleared one area, as long as a murderer doesn't move the body into an area that's been searched, you know you've cleared it. Can't say that in a river. Norfolk Fire and Rescue Service has also been assisting the search, and yesterday expanded the water search capabilities by calling on colleagues from Lancashire Fire and Rescue Service, so those are the guys who searched for Nicola, to assist with a specialist underwater drone. So they had underwater drone for Nicola. This drone has been used today to help with the search. The underwater search involves a combination of technology, diving and drones. 3 types of sonar, a technique that uses sound to detect objects, have been used from a boat in the River Wensum. If an object is identified as requiring further investigation, a dive team will be deployed and areas prioritised. The irregular and largely natural nature of the terrain, with uneven banks, trees, various depths and obstructions, makes this work painstakingly difficult. The images being beamed back to the boat were often unclear and difficult to recognise depending on the angle. So not ideal circumstances to be working with sonar because so much debris, so many obstructions. Chief Superintendent Buckley added, "Our approach has been to conduct thorough and systematic searches of the area. This resulted in further items belonging to Gaynor being found over the weekend: her mobile phone, coat, ring and glasses." Okay, so they were found over the weekend. We've received 30 calls so far in response to our appeal yesterday, and we're grateful for the public's help. While this information is still being assessed, currently there is nothing of significance that changes our approach. This remains a missing person investigation, and every effort continues to find Gaynor, including tracing her final movements in the city centre. So that's the latest update from Norfolk Constabulary. So diver there. So I think there's, in terms of the search, they're doing all they can. And obviously that's a painstaking search. And obviously they're not ruling out other things, but I think until we get more information, I think this is going to continue to be a very odd one. Very odd one. No, Peter. No, Peter. The speculation Peter Faulding is there. Please, God, no. No. It was Peter that turned Nicola Bulley's case into an absolute circus. Please, Norfolk Constabulary, can you find something to arrest Peter Faulding on? Just to hold him in a cell for the next few days. Just find something. Anything. Just... I don't know, speeding ticket, anything. Just keep him away in whatever way you need to. Just keep him away. Peter and his shovel. Yeah, he'll be digging in the woods. He'll be digging in the woods. No. Hopefully he's not there. I do know he's offered apparently, but please no. Please no. No. I'm going to just look, see if there's anything new before I sign off. I'm not seeing where Peter's there. Dare I search Peter Faulding. Oh dear. Search diver Peter Faulding offers to help me find Gaynor Lord despite Nicola Bulley controversies. No way. Search boss. He's not a boss of anything. The head of Specialist Group International, a UK firm that has assisted police in searches before, said he would be willing to help the investigation in Norwich for free. Thank you, Nellie B. Thank you, thank you. The Darwin case. Oh, John Darwin. Husband companies dissolved. So John Darwin, yeah. For those who don't know the case of John Darwin, he staged his own disappearance and demise for money. It does happen. It does happen. Occasionally, it's rare, but occasionally it happens. So, not ruling anything out, but thank you so much for the £2. You're very kind. Okay, so UK firm that has assisted police in searches before said he'd be willing to help. He made headlines at the start of 2023 when he began a river search for Nicola Bulley. Okay. Faulding used his sonar to probe a part of the river in St Michael's on Wye where Miss Bulley disappeared. Okay. And then he claims, like months later, to have found her in 6 minutes. Yeah. Although he said to news people at the time that she wasn't in the river. All right. Okay. So we would be happy to assist the family free of charge. They currently have search teams on scene, but the more expertise, the better. That's true. The more expertise the better. But then there's Peter Faulding, and not in that category, is he? According to the National Crime Agency, who took him off their list of experts. Don't blame me. That's what the National Crime Agency have said. Let's hope Gaynor is alive somewhere, Peter Faulding said on X on Thursday. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Created an absolute circus. Absolute circus. A review into the investigation found Mr. Faulding's participation, which came along much fanfare in the press, created challenges, that's and then some. In the view of Lancashire Constabulary, Mr. Faulding had a significant impact on the investigation and public confidence through his activities and an engagement with the media. Yeah. And then he went digging in the woods and told the family that he'd found a deposition site of a body. Yeah, that's what he did. That's what he did. What he did, guys. All right. I'm going to call it a day there. Keep this one quite short so it's watchable on the replay. She's walking up. What? She's walking up at St Augustine on the COE side, College of Education side of the road, not the River Park side. Yeah, but she could cross over the road. Crossing the road's a thing. It was last time I went out, anyway. Yeah, he claimed that. He claimed that, but yeah, months later. But when he was actually there, said she wasn't in the river. Yeah, he did that. Instead, he took a spade and went digging in the woods. That's what he did instead. If you don't believe me, go and read the College of Policing report on the Nicola Bulley investigation. You'll see the relevant stuff in chapter 5. Or you can go over to Michelle Walks and you can listen to hour upon hour upon hour of me reading the report. It took a while, though. It took a while. All right, I did all of these. Recently when the College of Policing report came out. How many live streams did we do? 6 live streams. So there's Peter Faulding's episode. If you want to go and watch it. Don't forget Cold Case Christmas. There's a new episode, look. They're not getting very much views, these Cold Case Christmas, which is a shame because I'm doing them to publicise cases that don't get enough attention. So some of them are recent cases that are just not getting enough attention. And some of them are old cases, cold cases that are just unsolved and have been unsolved for years. Like Fame Cooper, 14-year-old girl, murdered. And the person who likely did it has got away with it since 1990. Dylan Ayler, some people will know Dylan's case. Rodrigo Falcon from Scotland, been missing a year. Not enough attention on his case. Daniel Hives from my county, Lancashire, not getting enough attention on his case. Shakur family murders from Harlow in Essex in my country, not getting enough eyes on it. Just terrible, terrible. So today's Betty Alexander. So please do go over. Unsolved disappearance from 2019 from Sullivan in Missouri. Tomorrow's case, I can't remember what it is. Oh, Shane Newhouse is tomorrow. Shane Newhouse will be episode 15 tomorrow. They come out 6 p.m. UK time. You watched everyone. Thank you, Mother McReady. That's very kind of you. Or Mother McReady. I don't know. Cold Case Christmas is great. Thank you. All right, guys. I'm going to go. I'll be back tomorrow. Or I'll be back. If they find Gaynor, I'll be back. Otherwise, I'll be back tomorrow with a video on this channel and Cold Case Christmas over on Michelle Walks. So until then, thank you so much for joining me. I think I've only had one donation, but that's fine. Thank you so much. Thank you, as always, to the mods. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, folks.